So this is a follow-up to the original Canvas course tour. There were some questions about navigating things and how do you get to the online reading assignments and the homeworks. So right now you should, when you launch into CHE 255, you should land on this page. So if you scroll to the bottom, there's a course summary. There's dates in this column, details, and then when these things are due. So you should be checking this pretty regularly, I would say on a daily basis. If you have the Canvas app on your phone, you should also turn on notifications so you get notified when things are due. So what we're going to do basically is keep in mind the order of these things on this left column might be different in your view than in mine. So I'm going to click on modules. Again, just let's briefly run through this. Here are the chat invitations to the Monday, Wednesday, Friday chat sessions. You'll only see one of these at a time, and the old ones get unpublished so that we keep this clutter free. The Start Here section, Tutorial Center information has been added. So let's click in there. The Tutorial Center is run by Miss Autumn Webb, and she's over the general and organic chemistry labs for chemistry and biochemistry. They've partnered with the Speech and Writing Center in the Math Zone to use this online scheduling. So if you want to schedule chemistry tutoring, click there, and you can sign up for some time. So if we go back to the modules page, I encourage you to click in here. There's an original Canvas tour and a syllabus tour. Both of those are videos. They're not terribly long. I encourage you to watch them so you understand what's going on in the course. There's a video of me here, meet the instructor, introduce yourself to the class. So keep in mind, when you're scrolling through these modules and you see a date in points, that's an assignment that you have to submit. So introduce yourself to the class is due tomorrow. It's worth 3 points. Subscribe to my YouTube channel. So August 24th, that has passed already. Prior student reflections. So if you click in here, you can read what students from the 255-256 cohort of last academic year, some of their impressions after they went through the course. So I encourage you to go through that. Donahue created resources. You click in here. Here are my lecture notes for the course. These are what I teach from. I create the screencast from. So they pretty much track with how the course is taught. Here is the syllabus module. You're encouraged to click through all of these links and read these pages to make sure you understand what the course is about. But getting back to the gist of this video, so there are 5 modules in the course, so you can only see module 1 right now. Module 2 is unpublished, you can't see it. So let's go through these. If you click on this first tab, module 1 synopsis, chapter learnings, and lecture screencasts, this is the synopsis of what you're doing. This is what you should be reading. These are the learning outcomes. So we talked about Bloom's taxonomy. These are the things you should be able to do. And then these are the active verbs. So diagram, assign, know, calculate, draw, interpret, sketch, determine, identify, compare and contrast, explain, identify. So those are the things that you need to be able to demonstrate to show you understand the material. The module assessments, again, the majority of these are located in WileyPlus unless they are an engagement activity, which I create separately in Canvas. You have textbook problems 1 and 2 worth 10 points each for a total of 20 points. The textbook problems are taken directly from the course textbook. The adaptive learning sets are different sets of problems created by the textbook author, in which you have to choose a confidence level for each question you answer. Other engagement and professional activities, I create those myself. Exam 1, which is coming up next Monday, that's worth 100 points. It's also in Wiley. Here's the module schedule. You can scroll through that. And these are the lecture screencasts. So these are the things that you should be clicking on and watching in terms of learning the material after you read sections of the chapters. So these titles pretty much track with what you see in the textbook. So at this point you should be sort of caught up. Another one will be added for Friday. So that's that page in the module. So let's go back. The team's recordings are uploaded here, so you can watch those as a review, or if you weren't able to make the actual live stream. So these next links, if I click chapter 1, this is going to launch another page, and now watch the mouse change to the hand. Now it's launching the textbook. So now look at this website. We're in WileyPlus now. It's loaded a separate window in your browser. This is going specifically to chapter 1, a review of general chemistry, electrons, bonds, and molecular properties. We scroll down, and this is just like a page in a textbook here. When you're done with that page, you hit next. And so see how this bar changed over here. We're in 1.01, Introduction to Organic Chemistry. So you can click on or hover over these things, and additional little dialog boxes will appear. We can't scroll down any further on this one, so we can either hit next, or we can just come over to here, the next subsection. 1.02, the structural theory of matter. So notice the bar here, we can actually start scrolling down. The skill builder problems actually walk you through how to solve problems. There's a summary. And so now here you have practice the skill, apply the skill. These problems here, if you were to write these out on a piece of notebook paper, that's fine. And I encourage you to do that. And so you see they're sort of different. Practice, apply. If we click on skill builder, another dialog box shows up. And so basically you see question 1.01 pops up in this dialog box. This question is the exact same question that you see in the homework set. If you answer it here under this link, you're not getting credit for answering it. The homework sets are through a different link in Canvas, but it's this exact same problem. So let's just do this. Identify and select all structures below that represent constitutional isomers of the compound above. This is a compound. We can see the chlorine is bound to a terminal carbon. We can see A, B, and C are all that same compound. That chlorine is bound to the terminal carbon, terminal carbon, terminal carbon. What you need to understand is that even though they are drawn different, they are the same thing. This is not a trick. It is to probe your understanding of how that molecule is viewed. Right here you're viewing it one way, here you're viewing it another, here sort of like from behind, and here it's the bond is just drawn in a different way. So the correct answer for this is C and E, because the chlorine is bound to the 2 position. So I'm going to check answer. It says correct. So again, what you need to understand, if you're answering these questions in the reading, your points are not recorded for the homework set. And the reason it's done that is because Canvas, it doesn't allow. So to answer the homework questions, you have to go through the separate link in Canvas, and I'll show you that. So in theory, you could come through and answer them in the reading, determine what the correct answers are, then go back to the homework set and get them all right. That's your prerogative. So again, we've finished this section. I can click next. Now I'm going to electrons, bonds, Lewis structures. We can scroll through. Again, this looks like a video. What if we click that? I don't see anything happening. So I'm using Safari as my browser, and I've noticed there's some issues with Safari. So you might want to try Edge or Chrome or Firefox or whatever browser. We're scrolling through another skill builder you can read, practice the skill. So if we click here, skill builder 1, 2, that's bringing up another problem. Select the correct Lewis dot structure for the following atoms: carbon, bada bing, bada boom. Oxygen, we need 2 lone pair, 2 unpaired. Fluorine, we need 3 lone pair, 1 unpaired. Hydrogen, 1 unpaired. Bromine, it's the same group as fluorine, so 3 lone pair, 1 unpaired. Sulfur is right under oxygen, so 2 lone pair, 2 unpaired. Chlorine's a halogen, 3 lone pair, 1 unpaired. Iodine, another halogen. Check answer. Correct, correct, correct. So we're correct for all of these. Again, if you do these in the reading, it's not recording your points. So what's nice about this reading is if I click, say, try this, it's showing you the end of chapter problem right in that section of the chapter. Whereas normally you would wait until you finish the reading and then you got to the end. So this is nice because you can do more practice in the relevant section. So what I'm going to do is exit out of this reading. I'm going to go back to modules. Now if I wanted to do homework 1, I'm going to click here. Again, the homework sets HW1, HW2, that corresponds to that chapter, and those problems are taken directly from that chapter. The Orion homework sets are a different type of homework set. They're adaptive learning. So when you answer the problem, you also have to put a confidence in your answer, and over time that will give you a report of how well you performed on that material. All it is another homework set, so you get more practice doing the problems. Here's a synopsis of what you're going to do. We click this link. Now here we are in the actual homework set corresponding to chapter 1. On the left-hand side, if you scroll down, you might be blown away by the number of things you have to do, but keep in mind, other than the drawing type of problems, it's just a lot of multiple choice stuff. So let me click practice the skill, and so now you see that same problem that we did from the reading. So in my view, the correct answer is already highlighted, but we already did this from the reading, so you can see that it's C and E are the constitutional isomers. Practice the skill 1.03. So again, you saw that from the reading. It's the same problems from the textbook. I want to just make that very clear. So you go through these. Again, it seems like a lot, and if you wait until the last minute before it's due, you are going to get stressed out. So my advice is I would come in here every day. I would launch this homework set, and I would knock out 3 to 5 problems. If you're feeling ambitious, do 5 to 10. Over the course of the module weeks that we have, the 2 or 3 weeks per module, this should be no problem. If you wait and put it off, it's going to overwhelm you. I can assure you that. So let's go back to the modules. I'm going to click on the Orion, launch that. Again, this may be different. So it's when I click on it, it's only going to allow me to see a certain, it's going to allow me to see the data set for all the students. But the format looks the same in terms of the problems they're going to answer, but at the bottom there's like emojis where you select your confidence level. And then you're going to see whether you're correct or not. And if you keep getting them correct, they will get harder. But if you miss one, the difficulty level goes back down until you gain confidence in that set. So again, let's go back to the modules. Here's our module 1. Again, you're only going to see the module that we're working on at the current time, because otherwise this page gets very long. So you have Chapter 1 reading, Chapter 1 homework, Chapter 1 Orion, Chapter 2 reading, Chapter 2 Orion, Chapter 2 homework. The homeworks in Orions, as soon as the module opens, they are open until the exam date, then they close. So you have all that time to work on them. You will see the exam 1 link show up here in a couple days, and I will create another video about how to access the exams, because you have to first pre-launch a lockdown browser to take that. So again, this is a review of how you access the online resources through Canvas to WileyPlus.